There are some things we look at and immediately recognize as weird experiments doomed to fail, or overpriced products with no real value, or even shoddy implementations of admittedly impressive ideas. Unfortunately, there's an abundance of those things in the video games industry, which has seen a long list of such products enter the market over the years. In this feature, we'll be taking a look at such products. CTA Digital 6-in-1 Sports Pack. The early 2010s saw Sony and PlayStation buying into the whole motion gaming fad, thanks to the success of the Nintendo Wii. With the advent of the Move controller then came some pretty weird accessories as well. Among these were CTA packs, which were essentially attachments for your Move controller to give them the shape of whatever equipment you were holding in the motion-controlled sports game you were playing. We all like to be immersed in our games, but perhaps this is taking it a bit too far. You could always just tape your Move controller to your table tennis bat and save yourself some money. Aura INTERACTOR. You know what's better than feeling vibration feedback on your hands while you hold a controller and play a game? Feeling vibrations on your entire freaking chest. The Aura INTERACTOR was a massive vest that was essentially a haptic feedback device and produced bass vibrations based on your gameplay. It actually sold and reviewed surprisingly well back when it first launched, but looking back at it now, one can't help but marvel at its sheer ungainliness. Steel Battalion Controller. People often make fun of the N64 controller because of its 3 prongs. Who has 3 hands to hold them? Answer: you don't, but that's beside the point. Well, take one look at the Steel Battalion controller and you'll forget all about those 3 prongs. It's only got like 1,500 buttons, not to mention a few dozen dials and sticks here and there. Authenticity is one thing and we all appreciate it, but just how the hell do you get past the main menu with this thing again? N64 Glove Controller. As if the regular N64 controller wasn't weird enough as it is, Nintendo, in all their wisdom, decided to make a variant of it that literally fit your hand like a glove. Why are you like this, Nintendo? Why can't you be normal? A glove-shaped controller is the sort of thing that makes you wonder just who it was that thought such a thing even needed to exist, but also has you impressed at the creativity of whoever that person was. N64DD. The lack of a disk drive was one of the biggest reasons for Nintendo's fall from grace with the N64, even more so because it was exactly because of its own disk drive that its direct competitor PlayStation was dominating the market, partly at least. So what did Nintendo do? Why, they decided to make a disk drive accessory and sell it as an add-on, of course. We all know by now that didn't turn out very well. It was impractical, not very well supported, and just ended up being an unnecessary purchase. Game Boy camera and printer. Back before the days of front-facing cameras in phones, or even cameras in phones, Nintendo were way ahead of the curve with one of their accessories for the Game Boy, a camera and a printer for any images you took with it. Yes, a camera for the Game Boy. Yes, that black and white handheld console that could only display like 1.5 pixels at a time. Wii Bowling Ball. What the hell is that thing? The Wii did some pretty weird stuff, as Nintendo always does, and there's no shortage of bizarre Wii accessories out there. Many are even in this list. But this monstrous Wii bowling ball has to be one of the weirdest ones. I mean, sure, yes, it looks like a bowling ball, but why? Who'd spend money on that? Who'd want to use it? Where the hell would you even store it? More importantly, what if you forgot to put on the strap and flung this monster at your TV by mistake? Wii Cooking Kit. The Wii was the king of shovelware back in its prime, and the poster boy of that shovelware were the Cooking Mama games. So much so that the console is very commonly associated with them. So commonly, in fact, that someone decided they'd make an entire controller dedicated to that sect of the Wii. The Wii Cooking Kit is glorious, in a depressing what the hell is this thing and why does it even exist kind of way. It's also lacking in content because it doesn't come with a spoon. Wii car adapter. Playing on your home consoles in a car isn't very practical, but it isn't the most uncommon thing ever. People do often like hooking up their consoles to screens in their vehicles, but you know what's totally impractical? Playing a console in your car that requires you to fling your arms around like a crazy person. Imagine playing Wii Sports in a car and accidentally whacking the driver while swinging your imaginary golf club. Also, how would you even stand up to be able to swing said imaginary golf club? Kid Icarus Uprising 3DS stand. Kid Icarus Uprising is to this day one of the best 3DS games, but the one criticism that is often leveled at it is its controls, which could be very uncomfortable and cause cramps in your hand even in the best of situations. Nintendo obviously foresaw those issues and launched the game with a stand accessory for the 3DS, to make it easier for you to hold the system and control it with a stylus at the same time. And sure, it could actually be pretty effective, but A, it was pretty much entirely useless other than that one very particular function, B, it was still very small so your hand would still get cramps, and C, that flimsy black plastic stand cost actual money. Rob. Rob has become something of a beloved Nintendo icon by now, for some reason, and has a regular starting spot in the base rosters of games like Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. But the robot actually started life as, well, an actual robot. Nintendo released it as a proper accessory for the NES, and had plans to support it quite a bit. Though they ultimately ended up releasing only 2 Rob-compatible games, at least it was a cool, novel toy. SEGA ACTIVATOR. When the history books are being written about the worst video game controllers ever, the SEGA ACTIVATOR's name will be mentioned in big, bold letters on the first page. An octagonal device to be laid down on the floor that was supposed to read player movements and translate them to in-game inputs, the Activator was an absolute failure. For good reason too, because it was pricey as heck and not very accurate at all. Power Glove. Conceptually, the Power Glove was actually a pretty decent idea, but as is the case with many other things mentioned in this feature, that concept wasn't backed up by proper execution. The Power Glove is a famous Nintendo failure, thanks to the poor reception and low sales it suffered due to its inaccuracy and needlessly complicated controls. It didn't take Nintendo long to drop all support for it, and it's not hard to see why. Xbox Deodorant. It isn't uncommon to see brands branching out and releasing themed merchandise, but you don't expect to see a console selling body washes, shampoos, deodorants, and the like with its name stamped on the products. Well, recently, that's exactly what happened. You can get an Xbox deodorant and smell like, I don't know, Phil Spencer, I'm assuming?
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, please hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to switch on the notifications bell icon next to it. That way you'll never miss any of our videos. Thanks for watching.